Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our third episode of the Mud Queens Mudcast, which is a trendy way to say podcast. I'm here with Jojo Brown.
Hola!
And I'm Amy Saran. And today we're going to be talking about international racing, and we're going to be talking about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and doing things that you never previously thought that you were capable of. How are you doing, Jojo?
I'm really good. I've literally just got over my Canada tiredness, so it's awesome.
Canada tiredness or just post-Canada depression?
Yeah, I've got a hangover, the blues, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm all like, yay now, so it's all good. How about yourself?
I fully had the worst Canada hangover ever. I came back to England with a bit of a thud and was back into work, and all the colours just looked a little duller.
Oh, was it worse in Hawaii?
Yeah, but I was actually clinically ill after Hawaii, so this was a different kind of sad. Thus far, I haven't been carted off into hospital, so I'm doing pretty well for myself post-international travel.
Yay, good goals, man, good goals.
Yeah, no, but I am feeling good. I have to say I've been very lax on the exercise front since I came back, which needs to change. But I've been making resolutions, which is almost there.
Awesome. So, like, you're kind of is this all leading up to the next Worlds?
Yes, I think it is. I made a decision while I was out there that I wanted to go back and give it a proper crack, because I really had to manage my expectations leading up into it, because I was like, oh yeah, I want to keep my band and do well. And then when I got really ill, I had to sort of change my outlook and change my aspirations a little bit and just say, look, I just want to get through this. I just don't want to make myself even worse. I'm going to grade my exercise a little bit more and just go out and enjoy myself. And I surprised myself out there, but I do want to go back and go harder next year. So that's going to involve actually getting off my backside and moving and doing some really direct training.
But the thing is that, I mean, I went out there and I didn't race at all. I literally was out. I made a decision like a week before, and realised I didn't have a passport, so I had to go and spend the day in London trying to get a passport a week before flying out. Well done.
Wow.
Yay me. And do you know what? I had such a good time that even if I went next year and didn't race, I would be totally happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an all-round experience. That there's something to be said for just being a spectator, because it's becoming really exciting, and it's not just a cut and dried, oh, this person's going to win and this person's going to come second. It was a race until the very end, which made it really exciting. But I feel like you did push yourself into a position of responsibility there, or it was dumped upon you. But I think you did pretty well, mate, because you were.
Yeah, cheers. I even had Ginger, who anybody that knows Ginger, we hung out quite a lot while we were there, and she actually had to take me away on the Sunday after the team event because I was so tired. Because for me, socialising and interacting with people, especially over like full on, because it was full on 3 days.
Emotional.
It was like an ultra marathon. I was knackered, so she whisked me off and we sat down on the sofa and watched Ghostbusters.
Oh, excellent film choice. I applaud that heartily, mate.
Oh, yeah. And it was actually password protected, but, it's either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 0000. So we were good. We were in there. A free viewing of Ghostbusters, and it made it all right.
I'll bear that in mind next time I'm feeling a bit fatigued. That is the cure. But no, I think there's a lot to be said for getting out there and doing it. And like, I may have pushed myself in terms of the physical race, but you pushing yourself out there was really cool, and it was good to see you out there. So I'm dead chuffed for both of us.
Indeed. Virtual pat on the back.
Definitely. I mean, I want to do more international races, I think. And I think it's something that after seeing all the pictures and the videos of the Worlds and the coverage that we did at Mudstacle, a lot more people have started to think, this is something that I can do. Even if it's not on a competitive level, I can go as a journeyman. I can, race in the Euro Champs, or, if you don't want all that controversy and drama, you could go over to the Worlds next year in Canada. It's becoming so much more accessible to more people, whilst not detracting from the serious, front runners.
And who doesn't want to be able to say that they ran the same course? They stood at the start line with world champions.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh my God, look, literally standing here 5 hours ago, because it takes them not much time at all to do it.
Yeah.
And be like, that, you really don't get that in a lot of other sports. So I think it's awesome. It's
inclusive without detracting from the real race at hand, which is a difficult balance to strike, I think, but it's pretty exciting, and it's got a lot of the media types really excited for the next sort of big one, which I think is World Toughest Mudder next week.
Indeed, I'm excited for that. There's going to be 24-hour coverage, from what I understand, especially from Margaret Schlachter, Mudrun Guide. So that's going to be interesting, which leads us to
neatly segue into World's Toughest Mudder itself. Now, I have to admit that I'm not necessarily that au fait with the concept of World Toughest Mudder. I understand it's a lapped race, it's over 24 hours, it's pretty serious, and you've got to wear a wetsuit. Is that right?
There is a time at some point where you will need to find that wetsuit and wear it. Hug it.
All right.
Like a lifeline, because it's going to get cold.
Yeah, because it's out in the desert, isn't it? It's in Las Vegas. Okay, and we're actually going to have a guest on in a minute.
I'm so excited.
You're going to fangirl wildly. We're going to have Emily Red on to discuss her plans for World's Toughest Mudder and sort of what galvanized her into this manic training machine that she is now. I'm quite excited to hear from her, because it's something that's never really been on my radar. I mean, have you ever thought of doing a 24-hour race?
It's actually Emily's fault that I am thinking about it.
Are you joking? Are you going to do it?
I have,
You've thought about contemplating, potentially, maybe.
Yeah, nearly. I'm at that contemplating. Yeah, but it's only because of Emily, because of watching her over the past year, that I'm going, ooh, that could really, push me mentally, physically. How far could I really go? So yeah, but it is her fault. So obviously, if I ever did do it and complete it, I'd be crossing the finish line, thanking her, but at the same time saying that she is Satan.
All right. Well, I won't offer to support crew then, since you're going to be so conflicted.
Thanks for your support.
You're welcome. I'll be an international cheerleader instead. Or I'll come and do live coverage.
Indeed.
Well, that's really exciting. I'm really interested to see how she got into this sort of thing. So I think we should probably let her in.
Oh, go on then.
All right. So we are going to be live with Emily Red in a short period of time. Bear with us.
Okay, so I'm really excited. We've got Emily Red with us now. Hello, Emily Red.
Hi there, how you doing?
I'm good,
I'm good. Thanks. We're excited to talk to you anyway.
Thank you for having me.
You won't be saying that at the end. You'll be like, leave me alone.
No.
Oh,
actually, I feel really privileged, I guess, because is this your third podcast and I'm on it, so that's really fascinating. Thank you very much.
That's no worries. We are going to try to include some inspirational mud queens as we fumble our way along podcasting. So you were a pretty easy choice, to be honest, mate.
Considering I've been talking about it for ages.
I know, you're probably sick of it now, aren't you?
Not at all.
No, I think it's really interesting what you've been doing. So basically, do you want to give us like a bit of a potted history of the year you've had? Because you have gone from just, this not being on your radar at all to training for World's Toughest Mudder, which is a big deal. So do you want to just run us through your process?
Yeah, so basically, like, I've heard of World's Toughest Mudder for the past 2 years. I didn't hear of it before it was in Las Vegas. And I always thought, what a fantastic idea. I would love to do something like that. But it was always something that, other people did, and I would never have, or, I was never at the ability to actually do it. And but I always wanted to, and last year I thought, oh, maybe I should just go ahead and do it. And I was like, it's just a bit too much to do on my own, like if it was in the UK or Europe possibly, I might have even gone, screw it, I'll go. But because it was in America, it's just a big cost, and I was like, it's just not worth the risk. Until I saw my friend Harriet was going, and she bought a ticket, and I was like, oh my god, how she's going? That's amazing. I really, really want to go. I was instantly jealous and was like, that's it, I'm going with you. Like, if you're going, then I'm going. There's no reason why I can't do it as well. And I didn't actually buy my ticket for a couple of months, but in my head it was made up. I was actually doing it, and so I sort of started planning my year and thinking about what I needed to do in order to get me there successfully and actually have a good, run at it, basically.
Yeah, you don't want to, I guess, be spending all of that money to go out and be like, oh, forgot to train on monkey bars, how embarrassing.
Yeah.
So how far in advance did you start to train, and what sort of training did you want to do?
So, as I say, that happened. So Harriet was going in January, and I had already planned to go to Thailand on holiday from the year before, and it just kind of all fitted into place, really. I was like, well, I need to get super fit by the end of this year. I'm going to a fitness bootcamp holiday. This is going to be the amazing time to kick it all off and ramp up my training and get my summer started, really. So I went to Thailand mid-February for 3 weeks. And I was in such a high when I came back that it was easy to just keep on going.
Because that's the time of year that people start to really sort of give up on their New Year's resolutions. So while everyone's plateauing and on the down, you were well into your training and really excited about it. That's cool.
Yeah.
But how on earth do you keep the momentum?
So my initial kind of plan was to get, training for a 24-hour race. There aren't obviously any other 24-hour obstacle races in the UK, so I needed to find just a 24-hour race that I could do to see how I would go along. There's a couple in the UK sort of community that go to World's Toughest Mudder who posted about them, and so I found out about one called Brutal, which is an 18-hour race. So not quite 24 hours, but it's overnight. And then I found out about another one called Equinox 24, which wasn't till September. So it's kind of like I knew back then that I needed to keep my momentum going, all through the summer. And gradually I found the biggest and sort of baddest races I could in the UK to fill in the gaps between it all. Does that make sense? So
yes, it makes perfect sense.
I don't think it was a choice to not have momentum, if that makes sense, because I've always had something interesting to be the next thing along.
Yeah. Why did you think World's Toughest Mudder or something like that was something that only other people did? Why did you think you could do it?
I don't know. I mean, there must be things that you I guess, if you're a triathlete and you're just starting doing it and you think, well, one day I'd like to do an Ironman, but right now it's kind of out of my league. It was just like that.
It's quite daunting, isn't it? You see this thing and you see all these epic videos, and then you're like, okay. But do you think that it's as scary now as it was when you first went, okay, I'm going to do this?
No, just because of the amount of prep that I've put in and the amount of research that I've done. it's not as scary. It still is scary, and obviously I have no idea what's going to happen when I'm out there. Absolutely anything. It could go either way. But it's just about having fun. I mean, my whole kind of obstacle career is about enjoying myself and pushing myself, so it doesn't really matter what happens. I'm going to enjoy it anyway.
Has there ever been a time when you've been not having fun when doing obstacle racing? Because I think a lot of us have blips, or we fall out of love for a little while, but since you've had to keep momentum and you've got such a serious goal at the end of it, have you ever lost the love a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had bad races. I've had, I'm just not in the mood and just been in a foul, just not enjoyed it. I've had races where I've got really cold hands and I've not managed to warm my hands up, and then it's just, that's what brings my sort of mentality game down, is if my hands and feet get cold. But I've kind of learnt from that. I've not suffered from it this year, thankfully, because it's been so warm, which is not very good training for World's Toughest Mudder, but there you go. I've had, like, that, during the Equinox 24 race, it just completely did not go to plan, and it was actually a fantastic learning curve, though. Like, I didn't have a good time during it, but I'm really glad that it happened, because now I know it's changed my plans for World's Toughest Mudder, so it is perfect, basically. It's all worked out.
Cool. So what's the plan? What's the plan? Is there a strategy? Is it super secret? Can you tell us?
No, of course not. So basically, my goal at the moment is literally just to walk and not even attempt running, because over the past 2 big races that I've done, so I did a 50k a couple of weeks ago, and before that it was the Equinox one where I ended up doing 90k. And both races, I burnt out as soon as I got to like marathon distance. And right. So if I run at all, if I run from the start, doesn't matter how slowly I go, I know I'm going to burn out and I'm going to have to go to sleep. Mm-hmm. So the only way that I know to keep going as long as possible without having a rest is just to walk it from the start. And the only thing that I'm worried about is that I've not practiced that yet. So if I had like another 2 months, then I would book another 24-hour race and I'd walk it and see how far I could get. So at the moment it's a bit of an unknown, but I know that is the way I've got to do it, basically.
Do you think that you might get carried away in the adrenaline rush of it all and attempt a sneaky jog?
Oh, definitely. That is basically, that is the biggest worry I've got, because I know what I'm like, but at the same time, I know how much pain I was in at Equinox from running, and so if I just think about that, then I think that I'll be able to be okay.
That's pretty cool. So have you planned, are you going to have any little naps? Are you planning your nutrition? Like, how are you going to figure that out? Because the reason I ask is because when we do these international races, like, we forget that we don't have the same shops or we can't take the same food. So how are you going to work that out?
Yeah, food is a bit unclear at the moment. So I know that because also, aren't there rules? You can't take food into America, can you?
No.
Like, it's a bit odd. But then what does that mean exactly? Because I'm taking my talk gels with me. That's a supplement, so I'm hoping I'll get away with that.
To be fair, I mean, when we went to Canada, I wish I'd taken my peanut butter, because I totally freaked out when I went into the shop and I couldn't find peanut butter that I really wanted. So I was like, oh my god, I can't have my peanut butter and apples.
So she booked a plane home. Bye.
Goodbye.
But so this year I've been using the microwavable rice that you could just whack in the microwave for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I've been using that because it doesn't need cooking, it's already cooked. So I'll just like on my sort of, when I've done the lap races that I've done this year, I'll just eat the rice, and then I'd have had some cooked chicken as well, and then, like, it sounds a bit odd, but like put honey on it too. So it's a bit sort of bland and boring, but it's exactly what you need, like protein, carbs, and then a bit of energy. And then when it gets to like much further on in the race, that's when you're like, I just need to eat anything that you fancy, really, because you're at the point where you are either getting bored or tired or you feel sick and you generally don't want to eat anything, and so whatever you fancy is probably the best thing to eat because it's fuel at the end of the day.
Is this what happened though with the Equinox and you wanted the pizza and then there wasn't pizza?
Yeah, I was dreaming of like the pizza the whole time, and literally they arrived late, and so I was like, okay, I'll wait, till they're set up. And as we walked to the pizza store, when I finished the race, these people walked away from it saying, "Oh, we got the last ones," and I was like, "Oh, you're joking, ha ha." I was like, "Oh my God, you're joking, right? How dare you? Oh my God!" Like my heart just sank.
Oh, bless you. I did the same thing at Worlds. I chanted for like the last mile, just cup of tea, and I happened to just meet Siri England like minutes before I finished, and all she saw was me just walking past her going, cup of tea, cup of tea. So now I'm that girl. Brilliant. Well played, Amy.
I had not a similar kind of mantra, but not with my 50k race. So you guys know that I've got a big red ivy tattoo up my body, and as I was running along the canal, I was just like in so much pain. I just grabbed some red leaves that just happened to be on the side, and for the whole race, I held them in my hand and was like, the power of these red leaves are going to get me through the race. And it was like a kind of mantra, like looking at these red leaves, if that's the right word. But yeah, it was great.
And that's when you know delirium has fully hit you. Leaf power.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, anything to get you through, pal. Anything to get you through.
You're going to do it now.
I know Jojo's been dying to ask you a really pertinent question about World's Toughest Mudder. So, Jojo, do you want to let rip, and Emily, do you want to just sit down and prepare yourself for this?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, dying to ask you. Right. So, World's Toughest Mudder, 24 hours. Clearly, I know there's going to be toilet facilities, but you're going to be in your wetsuit, and no one likes taking on and putting back on a wetsuit. Are you going to pee in your wetsuit?
100% yes.
Boom. Yep.
Pee on everything.
Depends as well if I can figure out how. Someone mentioned this the other day that they peed onto their hands to warm their hands up, and I was like, that is amazing. If I can figure out how to get my hand down it, I'm gonna pee.
They put their hands. How? Like did they have like some kind of weird front zip?
They must have. Yeah, I don't know.
Imagine if you got stuck in metal.
Oh
You'd
my
just
God.
be waddling along with your hands like a straitjacket.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even want to begin to imagine the ambulance report if that went wrong.
Oh my
But a lot of
gosh.
people do it just to warm themselves up, so yeah, I'm not afraid of doing that.
I'm glad you're not shy about that.
Well, I needed to know because no one's. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things that you're like, yeah, they're blatantly peeing, and then, but no one will admit it.
Oh, you need to get into the forum for the community for the World's Toughest Mudder, then they would talk about it there.
Oh, is it just like they just talk about pee all the time?
No, they talk about other stuff too, but...
Well, like poo?
Yeah, sometimes they've talked about poo.
Oh my God, what would you do?
Much of an effort it is to put your wetsuit back on if you need to go.
Oh, God.
So you, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Like, literally, if you need a number 2 and you've got wetsuit on, you are screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Yeah. I've already chatted to Harriet, who I'm going to World's Mudder with, and I've just said, just don't eat anything with fibre in the day before, you'll be alright.
Wow.
I would have thought fibre would be a good thing.
No,
because
it helps everything, doesn't it? It kind of pushes things along.
Oh dear. Well, that is a minefield that I don't want to tread in. I do want to talk about something that I found really interesting about you, pal, is that you've been tracking your hormones. And I know that you were pretty chuffed that you were going to be sort of peaking, your testosterone levels are going to be peaking around World's Toughest Mudder. How did you start tracking? How has it affected your training? Talk to me about that, because that's cool science, and I like that.
She's
geeking out.
I can't actually remember when I first started tracking it, but I've known about how the female hormones can affect sports performance and stuff for a while, and it's just trying to find like papers on it that tell you what's going on, because it's quite difficult, and it's not my field either. I'm not an endocrinologist, so it's trying to just figure out what I know from being a scientist and, you know, relating it to my actual experiences.
Yeah.
So, basically, there's a really good website, actually. It's quite basic, and unfortunately it's branded. It's associated with Bodyform, but it's called Red.Fit, and it basically explains what the 4 phases of your menstrual cycle are and how they relate to how you might perform during sports. And so that kind of gauged my interest a bit, and then I went looking for information about when you're going to be peaking and testosterone. Basically, just before you ovulate, which is 14 days after you start menstruation, you are at the peak of your testosterone. And because I track my periods using a number of different apps, I've known for a couple of months that actually I'm going to be right at the right point for World Toughest Mudder. And so then this month when it happened, I was like, yeah, it's going to be amazing.
You're going to be hulking out at World Toughest Mudder.
And I've never met anybody happy about the fact, like, that, you know, like, praising their period.
Yeah.
Well, it's just bloody clever, mind you. I mean, all the excuses that you hear from people at the start, like, oh, my knee's bad, oh, I've had a hip replacement, oh, I've got a broken jaw.
A hip replacement?
Be, well, my testosterone is not peaking, so I'm not expecting a good race.
But I will say, like, you can excel, like, in any stage of your cycle. It's just, it just helps. Like, women are known to get PBs when they're at this sort of stage, when they're at that stage of their cycle, so it can just help a little bit extra.
Well, keep it quiet, because Donald Trump will be wanting to ban women at that stage of their cycle from competing in anything.
Don't even.
There's something else I was going to say about the subject, and I can't remember what it is now, so if it comes back later I'll mention it.
It was probably a lie if you've forgotten it. That's what my mum says anyway.
It was probably a lie?
Yeah, if you forget stuff, apparently it's because it was probably a lie. I don't believe that as, like, sacrosanct. It's just some rubbish saying that gets peddled around.
Do you know, that would mean then that everything that pretty much comes out of my mouth is a lie? Because I forget.
I've always thought you looked a bit shifty, to be honest, pal.
Thanks. Cheers. Goodbye.
Welcome. So, Emily, what would you say to someone who was looking wistfully at the World's Toughest Mudder page, wondering whether they should start training for next year? I mean, should they start training now? Is this something that you're going to do again, do you think? Or would you have to wait till after the race to figure that out?
I think I'd have to wait till after. I think the amount of kit that I've bought, I need to do it again just to make it worth the money as well. I would say, definitely start thinking about training now, but don't, like, go fully into it. So I kind of have experienced a bit of a lull over the past month. So that's what I was going to say, actually, about the hormone thing. So you can actually be, you know, in peak condition hormone-wise, but obviously if the rest of your life isn't going right, then that's going to have a big influence as well. So for Equinox 24, like, I was peaking for that weekend, but there were other things going on, obviously. I was ill somehow, I got ill afterwards, and so I didn't have a very good race. So there's so many different factors that can influence how you perform.
The world is out to trip you up, mate. I think that's what it is.
How pessimistic of you.
And then, so since that, I kind of went on a bit of a down, and for the past kind of month, I've just been a bit, I think I peaked too soon, basically, and was a bit worried. But actually, I'm feeling a lot better this week, because I've kind of not ramped it up again, because I need to kind of taper this past sort of this for the next week. But I feel not relaxed, but I feel like energized. Like, the fact that I've taken it easy for the past month has done me so good, because I've done so much over the summer. I've kind of started tapering, like, not too early, because I think I needed it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's really great, Emily. I'm super impressed, basically, by your dedication this year. because I know that there must have been setbacks along the way, and I just think it's incredible that you've gone through with it and that you're actually on your way.
Thank you.
It is pretty amazing. I mean, I've seen you at various races throughout the year, and we've chatted about it. And, you know, what I love about you, though, is the fact that you'll say, we met at Airfield Anarchy, and you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna take it easy, just work my way around, you know, really kind of like making it sound like this is, you know, just, you know, I'm gonna have a play, it's all good. And then you come second or something.
Yeah, that was really strange, because it was the 5k race, wasn't it, the first one in the morning, and everyone on the obstacle kept saying to me, oh, you're second female, and I was like, what? Like, what you want about? And then the next one would say, oh, you're like third female. I was like, oh. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me, really? And then I think, okay, maybe I should get a bit faster. This is pretty cool. I could actually like get a good finish, and that's the reason why I then really pushed and got a good placing. So it was a surprise for me.
That's good. I think it's good to surprise yourself every now and then. We are massively proud of you, Emily, and we're going to be rooting for you next week. We're going to be following as much of your progress as we possibly can. Is there a way to track athletes individually?
I believe so. I've just been investigating that today. I've seen that they've released an app. I've not downloaded it yet, but hopefully you can track athletes on that. All
right, well, we will definitely put all the details on how to track you, if that's all right with you, in the blurb surrounding this podcast.
They've announced the live feed as well, so you can watch.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. It's unbelievable.
All over that, mate. All over that.
I've unlocked my phone and I've bought an international like SIM card, so I'm going to be trying to do video updates.
Yes!
To get 4G. So.
Yes! Yes, because I love your video updates. I'm always like refreshing, going, has she done another one yet? And someone will, Ginger or someone will go, she's posted again, and I'm like back on it, like, oh my god! And then it's awesome, and I love it, and it's great.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
it's
awesome. We definitely are doing really well with tracking our athletes and our ladies about town in Mud Queens now. So if you want to track Emily, we'll give you the details. And also, if any of you guys who are listening are doing an event and are happy for us to track you, or, you know, want us to talk about your progress, please just let us know, because we do love watching awesome ladies do awesome things. Thank you so much, Emily, for giving us your time. I really hope that you do well at World's Toughest Mudder, and that, more importantly, that you enjoy it and that it's a good experience that was worth this incredible effort.
Thank you.
It is going to be incredible, regardless of what happens, whether you walk the whole thing, have to sleep or whatever. I think the amount of effort that you put into this, just even turning up on race day, is, to me, fantastic.
Definitely. I mean, I've got that in my head, basically. I've got that mental game. You know, whatever happens, I'm just there, and that's what I wanted to do. So,
competing on a world stage, might I add.
Yeah.
Make sure you think of us every time you do a little pee in your wetsuit, all right?
I will do.
Thank you so much, Emily.
Thank you. Okay, apologies for the technical issues. We're still trying to work our way through the world of podcasting. So that was Emily Red. I hope you enjoyed it. Unfortunately, Amy isn't here to say goodbye because she's rescuing a lazy cow. Semi-true story. If you do want to check out any more from Emily Red, she is blogging on Mud Is My Makeup. We'll put all the information in the notes. But it's not just her. We've got Corinne Luckie and Harriet Burnett as well going out and racing World's Toughest Mudder. So all the best to all three of you. We will be following you throughout the whole thing and updating everybody if need be. Don't forget, Secret Santa. I believe it closes the 11th of November, so get in there quick. Lucy does love a spreadsheet, but she doesn't love having to add on to it every single time. So we'll see you next time. Goodbye.